This is a John Deere LT155 lawn tractor manufactured by John Deere. This model, along with the LT133 and 166, were made for about 3 years, from 1998 to 2001. This model has the Freedom 42 mulching deck. This deck is not made for a rough yard with roots or falling fruit from trees and rocks, etc. For any reason these blades take a hit, you take a chance that it's going to break the timing belt on this deck, and you're probably going to hear the blades hit each other and face the fact you're going to be changing the timing belt. The OEM of this belt will be $7,100. You can try a knockoff for around $35 to $50. I've had this mower since August of 22. The time of this video is now October of 23, so mine's lasted a year. I don't know how long a knockoff would actually last, or even a new one. Changing the timing belt is not that bad on this unit, but it requires some taking apart. So before you order a new belt for your Freedom 42, look on the rear of your tractor and find the identification or serial number, because this is very important. When you go to order your belt, you'll need to know the last 6 characters on that tag. For the LT155, if your serial number goes below 125,001, or if you have the LT166 and your number is below 95,001, the OEM belt number is M127926. For all other serial numbers above these, the belt is M128733. This is critical because the later belt is longer and it won't fit the earlier serial numbers. Now, if you need to change your primary deck belt or your drive belt for this deck, that number is M128733. Okay, I'm going to drop my deck down to the lowest setting, which is 0. Then I'm going to drop my lift bar all the way back down, and then I've got to remove my deck engagement rod. That consists of a clip and a pin. Okay, now I'm going to raise my deck back up and place some bricks underneath. You can also use 2x4s. Okay, now I'm going to drop my deck back down. Okay, in the back of your tractor, in front of the back wheel, is going to be 2 pins on each side that hold your deck for your lift bars. Just pop those clips off of there and then push those pins out. Once you get those out of there, that's going to free your lift bars on each side. Okay, now I'm going to remove my bricks. Okay, I'm going to pull my deck forward and release my triangle front support there. And then you can release your belt if you have one on there that hasn't broken. Okay, we've got to remove our deck drive belt. This is a 16 millimeter. Take this pulley loose. engagement rod. Okay, this pulley is a 13 millimeter on the bottom. This has a washer on top. Keep all your hardware together. Okay, in order to remove this belt, you also have to remove this brake blade arm. And we're going to have to remove this also to get our cover off. This is one of those split clips that hold that on. You got to pull that off. Make sure you have a nut and always mess them up. Getting them off. And now I can remove my brake bar. These are the two pieces of hardware that hold your brake in place. You got to remove those. Okay, this is an 8 millimeter to remove this blade brake. There's also a locking nut right here. That is going to be a 10 millimeter. Then we can remove our brake. Okay, this is a 5/16 driver. We're going to take a series of nuts off the top of this cover and get that off. Okay, I have all my screws out of my cover. I'm going to remove that. Okay, you can see my belt is broken right there. Okay, one important thing about putting this belt on is you want to make sure that your blades are 90-degree angle from each other. These pulleys here have little notches in them, like you see right here, these little notches. As you can see here, my blades are going to be just like this when I put my belt back on. That's very important, because if not, your blades are going to bang into each other. So I know I have my two notches here that are showing me my blade is out this way. These two notches show me my blade's going this way. The belt's going to go around this pulley. Start around that pulley. Going to come straight through here like this. This comes around here like this, and then runs back around this pulley. I'm going to back this off enough to where I can get my belt on there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is take this wheel like 1 or 2 turns loose where I can pull it up enough to slide this belt on. that should give me enough clearance to get my belt on. Now I've got to look and make sure that my blades are still at a 90-degree angle from each other. I think I got it. Okay, just make sure that your blades are 90 degrees. You see I got this one going this way, and I've got this one going straight up and down, and I'm telling that by looking at these little divots in the pulleys here. We're looking at it like this is how it goes. Just like that. Now that I've got my spring tension set, I can tighten this back down. Okay, now I'm ready to go back on with my cover and reassemble everything. Okay, everything looks good. I'm going to make sure my blades are according to my pulleys they are. That's the way it should be. Ready to go back on with my cover now. So we'll have a 5/16 nut here, 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 here. Okay, put this pulley back on. We're going to put this lock bolt in first. Then there's a washer that sits on top of that. Not going to tighten that down yet all the way. Then this piece goes in like this. This sits on top of that. And this pulley is going to sit on top like that. That's going to run around your pulley right there. It's going to come up underneath there. And run around this pulley. And this is going to be around this pulley. So we're coming off the engine, running around this pulley, our blade pulley, back around here, and back to the engine in the right place. Turn the right way. Belt configuration drawn out for you. That's the way it ought to look. Now we're going to reinstall our brake for our blade. You can see mine's well worn down. In fact, my blades don't want to stop whenever I turn them off for a good bit. Those are about 50 bucks online, and there are no knockoffs for it. That's what it cost. Here we're going to have a nut and a bolt to reinstall this. This will be a 5/16 driver to put that bolt back on there. 10mm socket for your nut. Your brake will install back in that slot right there. You're going to have a place for a straight clip to go through there. Just install it with that. Now we're going to install our deck engagement rod. Now that we have everything installed, let's tighten our pulleys back up. Okay, our nut on the bottom of this is a 13 millimeter. Tighten that up. For this one, we'll need a 15 on top, a 16 on the bottom. Okay, here you want to make sure that you get this belt in between your belt guides there. Do that for the other side too. Just make sure that's going within those belt guides there. Okay, now we're going to get our front support in there, our little triangle there. Slide that back. Let it tighten up on it. Position our deck for our lift bars to go down. We're gonna put our bricks back up under the deck, and then we're gonna take our lift bar and go down with that. That's going to put our lift bars in position to be reinstalled. Going to have a pin that goes through there. And then a pin, Carter pin on the outside. Same on both sides. Just make sure that you got your lift bar in there, that your pin's going through your lift bar. Now we're going to raise back up and take our bricks out from underneath. Then we're going to raise our lift bar back down, and we're going to reinstall our engagement rod. This is very hard to show you because I can't hold a camera and do it at the same time. But you see where your plate is that grabs your engagement rod. You want to put a washer back on top of that and your Carter pin. Now I'm ready to lift my deck back up and try it out. Seems to engage just fine. Let's see if it'll cut some grass. You'll see here in a second I find a golf ball. That's putting a primary and a secondary timed belt on a Freedom 42 deck for a John Deere 155. It also covers the 166. I hope that helps you out.